'Cause if I got you, I don't need money, I don't need cars. Girl, you're my heart. Sing. And oh, I'm into you, and girl, no one else could do this. With every kiss and every hug, you make me fall in love. And I know I can't be the only one.
The sun was said to have dipped slowly behind the Coachella Valley horizon as Justin Bieber stepped onto the stage, and witnesses described the atmosphere as instantly shifting from anticipation to pure electricity the moment the first notes of Peaches echoed through the desert air. His voice reportedly layered with emotion that carried across the massive crowd, which quickly transformed into a sea of glowing lights and raised hands, many fans waving their phones and forming what some described as a wave of purple hearts stretching as far as the eye could see. And from the very beginning, attendees claimed it felt less like a routine festival set and more like something deeply personal, almost as if Bieber had arrived with a message rather than just a performance. And according to those present, it became clear within moments that the night was unfolding as a tribute centered around his wife, Hailey Bieber, with every lyric and gesture appearing intentional and carefully delivered. And as the performance continued, reports noted that Justin paused between transitions to address the crowd in subtle ways, not through long speeches but through expressions and tone, allowing the music itself to carry what many interpreted as his emotional narrative. And when he moved into Sorry, it was said that the energy shifted again, this time into something softer yet more intense, his voice allegedly cracking at key moments, especially during the line about emotions, which prompted a loud reaction from fans who seemed to sense the vulnerability behind it. And several attendees claimed that he directed his attention toward a specific section of the crowd where Hailey was believed to be standing, reinforcing the idea that the performance had a singular focus. And as he continued, observers described how he lowered himself to one knee during Love Yourself, a moment that quickly became one of the most talked about highlights of the night, with fans reacting loudly as he sang with a level of intimacy that made the massive stage feel unexpectedly small. And those close to the front reportedly noticed how his delivery slowed, almost as if he wanted every word to land with precision. And right after that emotional peak, the mood shifted again as he transitioned into Yummy, bringing a burst of upbeat energy that had the entire crowd dancing, with many saying the contrast between vulnerability and celebration added to the overall impact of the set, making it feel dynamic rather than predictable. And at this point, some viewers online who later watched clips of the performance began pointing out how the pacing of the songs seemed deliberate, almost like chapters in a story unfolding in real time. And just before the next major segment of the show, fans watching from home were encouraged to stay tuned, with some even suggesting this was the moment to subscribe if they didn't want to miss how the narrative would evolve. And as Justin moved into Hold On, the tone once again shifted, becoming more heartfelt and reflective, with the lyrics about lasting love sparking immediate reactions both in the crowd and across social media, where fans quickly began sharing clips and interpretations. And it was widely reported that this particular performance ignited conversations about the deeper meaning behind his song choices, with many suggesting that the line about loving someone forever felt like a direct and unmistakable message to Hailey. And yet, as the night continued, a different narrative began to emerge among sections of the audience and online viewers, as discussions started to form about whether some of the songs included in the set list had origins tied to his past relationship with Selena Gomez. And this speculation appeared to grow stronger as fans dissected each lyric in real time, comparing timelines and emotional undertones. And according to several posts that gained traction, tracks like What About Us and Changes were quickly brought into the conversation, with some suggesting they carried echoes of a different chapter in his life, though others strongly disagreed, pointing instead to Justin's visible expressions during the performance as evidence that his focus remained firmly on his present relationship. And eyewitness accounts emphasized that his body language, particularly during the more emotional songs, seemed aligned with someone expressing current devotion rather than revisiting the past. And as these debates intensified online, clips of the performance continued to circulate rapidly, fueling even more interpretations and reactions. And in the midst of this growing discussion, one fan was quoted as saying they felt proud watching the performance, describing it as a clear display of love and growth, while another voice added that regardless of when certain songs were written, the way they were performed that night gave them entirely new meaning. And as the set approached its final moments, the anticipation in the crowd reportedly built once again, with many wondering how he would close such a layered and emotionally charged performance. And when he returned to Sorry for the finale, the reaction was described as overwhelming, with the audience singing along loudly, creating a shared moment that blurred the line between performer and crowd, and observers noted that the closing felt intentional, almost as if he wanted to end on a note that encapsulated both reflection and resolution, leaving fans with something to think about long after the music stopped. And just before the final lights dimmed, some viewers online were again prompted briefly to subscribe for more updates and breakdowns of the performance, especially as new details and angles continued to emerge. And as the night came to an end, the conversation surrounding the performance showed no signs of slowing down, with social media platforms becoming flooded with theories, reactions, and emotional responses. And many agreed that whether or not the song choices were meant to spark discussion about his past, the overall message that came through most clearly was one of present love and commitment, and reports suggested that Justin himself did not directly address the speculation, choosing instead to let the performance speak for itself, which only added to the intrigue. And as fans continued to analyze every moment, from the opening note to the final bow, it became evident that this was not just another festival appearance, but a moment that had resonated deeply with audiences across different perspectives. And in the hours following the show, clips continued to trend, with some viewers focusing on the romantic aspects while others remained fixated on the possible connections to his history, creating a dual narrative that kept the performance at the center of conversation. And just as discussions began to reach new heights, a final reminder circulated encouraging viewers to subscribe for ongoing coverage and insights, as many believe that the full story behind the performance was still unfolding. And as the dust settled over the Coachella grounds, what remained was a performance that had sparked emotion, debate, and admiration all at once, leaving fans with a lasting impression that extended far beyond the stage and into the wider cultural conversation, ensuring that the night would be remembered not just for the music, but for the stories it inspired and the questions it left behind, continuing to echo long after the final note faded into the desert night.